Clinton, Bush, and Perot, do you see anybody you have an interest in voting for?
Hey, man, I say my prayers, and I'm a spiritual person. And I'm going to let God settle all this craziness and all this.
But we can't all do that,
Yeah,
Eddie.
yeah, but that's what I'm doing, man. You know, that's what I'm doing. I think it's a higher power than all of it. I think it's a higher power than government. I think it's a higher power than all of those things. And I've been let down personally. You feel let down, and you feel like you're a victim. I've had all that stuff in my life, you know. And I'm down with that higher power. That's who I give my vote.
But isn't that kind of like being a slave on the plantation and just singing and saying, Lord will make a way?
How you figure?
Just sing. And like, Lord will make a way instead of whipping some ass for voting.
But what's that going to accomplish by whipping some ass and voting?
It will accomplish more than just praying. I think prayer must be accompanied by some kind of action.
Oh, but see, that's if you feel that the government is doing things for you. You feel like the government is helping you out and doing things for you and has your best interest in hand.
That's why I'm going to vote, because I believe.
But have you ever felt like that? Have you ever felt?
I'll just keep voting until I find somebody who has my interest in hand.
Wait now. But who's tripping then? If you just going down in the booth and pulling this lever, and I'm singing, who's tripping? Who's to say what happens when you go pull a lever and they say, oh yeah, we counted the votes and there's this and who knows what goes on, man?
I know, but
you have nothing. Hey, Chief, you have nothing to do with any of it. Any of it. There's some cats that run this thing. I'm not doing this, and a lot of people are gonna say, oh, he's crazy and rock the vote and all that. There are a bunch of cats that run this planet, and they just wait on the higher power to handle things. I mean, read your Bible. Read your Bible. Read your Bible. I read Revelations. They ain't say nothing about, thou shalt rock the vote.
I recognized yesterday I made a post that was hurtful to the Pride community, which includes friends of mine and close family members of mine, and I am truly sorry for that. I just spoke with my teammates and shared with them my actions yesterday. I apologize with them, and as of right now, I'm using the Blue Jays resources to better educate myself, to make better decisions moving forward. The ballpark is for everybody. We include all fans at the ballpark, and we want to welcome everybody. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Alright, peace, y'all. Peace. So, in this video, it's gonna be a little different. We're not really gonna focus on the expose aspect, but I do want to point out something that's very important, and that's gonna be the influence hip hop has had over the urban community. All right, now. We all know the importance of music, right? And what it can do to our lives on a daily basis, all right? It can change a lot of people's way of thinking and their behaviors, right? Because now that hip-hop is one of the biggest genres in the world, okay, it's only right that I make a video and explain how it influenced a generation, or a few generations, I should say, right? So in this video, we're going to be talking about the different influences from generation to generation, how it affected the urban communities, all right, as well as other communities also. All right, now y'all already know that hip-hop is government funded, right? We've already made videos, and I've explained to you guys on how the structure of the world is actually ran, right? But all of these things are connected to the government, all right? And I truly believe a lot of these rappers are handpicked, all right, and placed in the limelight at a specific time, okay, to deliver a certain message, all right? Which is why we see people like Lil Uzi dressing feminine, right? All right, so but in this video we're gonna break all of this stuff down. All right. Now, hip hop was created to deliver messages to the urban community. All right. When it first started, it was more or less of uplifting. All right, like I explained to you guys in the history of hip hop video. Right. It's always been about uplifting at the very beginning. All right. And then it transferred to the drug and gang culture. All right, a lot of the West Coast artists brought out the drug and gang culture. But from 1993 to 1997, all right, hip hop was actually promoting, all right, the incarceration lifestyle.
All right, these guys are on their way to where? X-rays. They're coming back from another jail that had X-rays taken. So they get pretty good health care. Free medical, free dental. They don't pay for anything. 3 hots in a cot.
Remember, most of these men are awaiting trial. They're innocent until proven guilty in a city that gives its jail population a lot of rights. So they wear their own clothes and keep stockpiles of fancy footwear. Even jewelry is allowed. Inmates are entitled to a 6-minute daily telephone call out. But they talk longer, and fights over who uses the phones are common. An inmate can even bring a Walkman from home. At meals, inmates choose Muslim, kosher, or regular. And they get daily trips to well-stocked law libraries. And all this leaves officers with an attitude. They say inmates get better treatment than they do.
Now, I'm going to explain to you guys how all of this stuff connected. All right, in 1994, Joe Biden actually contributed to the crime law, all right, which was considered to be a mass incarceration for the urban community. A lot of Hispanics and black people were arrested, all right, during this time, okay? Now, hip-hop, in my belief system, actually used artists like Biggie and Tupac, right? Also Nas with the song One Love, all right? Mobb Deep, Up North Trip, all right? Even on Biggie's first album, you know, his intro, all right, it basically was him leaving jail, all right? That's, I mean, you know, a way to start an album, right?
Open C74, small.
But the way that they used these artists, right, was to promote the incarceration lifestyle. Go out there and commit crimes, right? Go out there and commit crimes, and the consequences will be jail, but, you know, it's all right. You know, if you speak to a lot of older cats from back in the day, they always say, yeah, man, you know, I thought going to jail was cool. It was like something you had to achieve. All right. Now, if you take a look at this chart right here, and from the time span of 1994 all the way up until 1997, right, you see an increase. All right, from the state's prisoners, it went from 800,000 state prisoners to 1.4 million. All right. Now, these were all black and brown people. All right. So they made an increase of its prisoners, New York State prisoners, all right? Now, hip-hop basically contributed to this by delivering the message, all right, that they do today, all right? Now, the same thing portrays, all right, we see in today now, they're making prison look like it's a fun place to be, right? You know, but they're giving the inmates a little bit of more leeway, all right? But in reality, these guys are still locked behind a cage, all right? So now this is the new way of being institutionalized, all right? Now, some people may say, hey, you know, this is just a way to capture more slaves, however you want to put it, but hip-hop definitely played a major part, all right, in the jail system, okay? All of the jails are connected through the record labels, all right? All of these things are in cahoots, all right? So, from 1997 to the year 2000, right? Now, if you 35 and in your 40s, right? Maybe your late 20s, you remember this era, okay? And this was called the bling bling era, all right? A lot of showboating was going on. You had rappers like Jay-Z, all right? Cash Money, No Limit, Puffy and Mace, also Nas, right? But this era was to basically influence the urban communities, right? About social status, all right? If we take a look at our parents, right? They were flashy, but it wasn't more or less like a social status as it is today, right? Like if you don't wear designer and jewelry and all of these things, right? You're considered looked down upon. It basically taught the black woman to disregard her morals, all right, for the sake of getting a baller, all right. We've always heard that term in the early 2000s, baller. You know what I'm saying? Where the ballers at, right? But then also it helped companies like Versace and Coogee, right? It helped these companies thrive, all right. A lot of designer companies were now coming out, all right, and reaping the benefits off of the urban community, all right. Now, I truly believe that social status, right, actually allowed a gateway for a lot of these secret societies and fraternities to be promoted, all right, in secrecy. Now, the reason why I say in secrecy is because they would use code words that the average viewer or listener wouldn't understand, right? But the popularity of fashion in hip-hop, all right, was actually also used as a tool to gravitate towards the urban community, all right? Now, it worked like this, right? Take Jay-Z, for instance, okay? If Jay-Z was wearing jerseys, everybody else would wear jerseys, okay? If Jay-Z told us to wear button-ups, everybody else wore button-ups. This is why they called him the Hov, because he dictated what the masses would wear, all right? For a long time, people followed Jay-Z, okay? Believe it or not, for a long time, okay? Some of you guys out there may have had button-ups and throwback jerseys and all of this stuff, you know, but this is what I'm saying. It became popularized as far as with the fashion, okay? Now, the era of 2000 to 2005, right? Some of you may disagree, but I'm going to say that this was the era of destroying the masculinity, okay? From 2000 and 2005, this was the era of destroying the masculinity, okay? Now, before this era, hip-hop was very aggressive, okay? It was very aggressive, all right? You know, it was more focused on the crime aspect, as I mentioned, but then they came out with artists like Nelly, okay? Where Nelly was actually singing, okay, on his first couple of albums, okay? And then they came out with Ja Rule. You know, Ja Rule was actually the staple in creating the singing rapping style, okay? Nobody else was actually doing that before him. I know some of you guys said LL Cool J was actually the first R&B rapper, but I mean, as far as with harmonizing and rapping at the same time, Ja Rule was actually the forefront for that type of style of music. Now we look forward today, everybody is singing on their songs, you know what I'm saying? Now, some people would say that 50 Cent also was a part of this as well, because he, you know, became actually a bigger artist, all right, and publicized it more than Ja Rule, right? And a lot of these younger generation kids, you know, they look at 50 Cent, okay, as a legend as well. He's considered a legend. A lot of these young rappers, they grew up on 50 Cent, right? But like I said, this was the sing-along song era, okay? So it went from hip-hop to pop charts, all right? Now, the reason why I said this era destroyed the masculinity is because it took away the aggression, okay? And it brought in how to be more sensitive, all right? But the lyrics were still provocative, okay? But it was more emotional, okay? It was a little more emotional than the average rap song, right? And, you know, this is how, like I said, this is how these rappers got their influence. These rappers today got their influence in all of the singing rap. Now they actually call this genre of rap emo rap, right? Where these artists are singing and basically crying on the record, right? This is the new generation of rap. Okay, so a lot of those old school artists, they actually created that lane. All right, now from 2006, okay, now to 2010, okay. Now, I'm going to get a lot of people pissed with this. I understand that, but this is the truth. Okay, this is actually the truth. All right, now, in my opinion, this was actually the bubblegum dumbed down era, okay, and also the trap era. All right, now, from 2006 to 2007, right, the South actually took over hip-hop with dance songs. Okay, there was a lot. I mean, the Superman, the Batman, the Crank That, the Snap Your Fingers. It was a whole bunch of dances. Like, the South bombarded hip-hop with dance records, right? And don't get me wrong, some of them were actually good, okay? But they actually changed the production of hip-hop, all right? Where it came from a natural standpoint, all right, with acoustic analog production, all right? That's when you use real instruments like real guitars, real pianos, real drums, okay? To now using Fruity Loops where everything is computerized, right? You're pressing a button. And the sound sounds exactly like, you know, the drum, but it's not real. All right, they kind of made it more digital. All right, now from as far as the South goes, from going from the reason why I said it was dumbed down. All right, from going from artists like Goody Mob, right?
See, Sega ain't in this new world alter them experience.
And Outkast, right?
But it kept smiling like a clown, facial expression looking silly, and it
to D4L.
Girl, shake that laugh it,
and the Franchise Boys.
In my white tee,
yep.
In my white tee,
yep.
You know, the message was totally different, okay? You know, Goody Mob, they actually had a message, Outkast as well, right? And then, you know, you went from that to no message at all, okay? Guys rhyming about, you know, white t-shirts. Okay, so, you know, it basically shifted. All right, it basically shifted. Now, I'm going to give y'all a little bit of knowledge on music, right? If you guys do music out there, you know what I'm talking about. When you go from analog, okay, which I mean like natural instruments, real instruments, to digital computerized instruments, right? Stuff that comes from a laptop or a computer, all right? You basically remove the feeling, okay, of a song, okay, to now using frequencies to deliver emotions, all right, rather than you just having a feeling like, oh, I love this sound. It changed, okay? So when you say, damn, music don't feel the same no more, it's basically because they've taken the feeling out of it, all right? Half of these producers that are popular today, right? We've never seen half of these guys, right? But you know, it's some white kid sitting behind a laptop making beats, okay? And he can make beats better than the average black guy, all right? So, you know, this whole concept of how they removed the feeling from music, the soul, right? The soul, it's gone now. Okay, because everything is digital. All right. Now, the trap era. Okay, the trap era was, I ain't gonna lie, this was a dope era to me. All right, I like the trap era, but you had artists like Waka Flocka, okay, Gucci Man, T.I., and Jeezy. Okay, now these guys, they pushed the dope boy persona. All right. Now, I'm gonna be honest. Some of y'all probably bagged up to some Gucci Man or Jeezy, right? And you know, the funny thing about this era is none of these rappers actually, in real life, ever sold drugs.
Juice was good. He was quiet no matter what he did. And he was really the street one. It wasn't Gucci, it was him.
Yeah, Gucci.
You spent $2-3 grand a month. You a lie. Well, lie. You a motherfucking lie. You lying.
Okay, so this is what I'm saying. They delivered, okay, a specific message, all right, to push to the urban community, right? And made it look good. And people were out there, you know, I'm a dope boy, all right? The women say, I don't want no 9-to-5 man, I want a dope boy, right? It was an influence, okay? It was an influence on the urban community with this dope boy trap era, all right? Now, I truly believe this did cause a lot of crime in the southern areas, right? Because, you know, the whole concept of southern hospitality, right? You know, when your grandma would be out on the porch and stuff like that, that stuff is gone now. All right, grandmas don't go out on the porch no more, right? Things have changed because, not saying that this all derived from music, but things have changed, all right? Now, from 2012 to 2016, right, this was the birth of drill rap, okay? A lot of you guys know this. This when a lot of things, you know, a lot of things changed, all right? It was starting to look grim, all right? But the Chicago rap scene actually took over hip-hop, all right? Now, there have been people that have made diss records before, right? But there was something different about the Chicago rap scene in 2012, right? It was basically a group of young men dissing the opposite gang in songs, right? Now, the thing that shocked everybody the most was that not only were people dying, but these individuals lived, you know, blocks away from each other, right? And it was getting real. People were actually dying behind a lot of this music, okay? Now, you had artists like Chief Keef, right? Lil Durk, okay? And G Herbo as well, right? Now, for some of y'all that didn't notice, like I mentioned in the trap era, right? Waka Flocka was actually the first person, okay, that put Chief Keef on, okay, on the song called Murder, right? Featuring him and Bo Deal, all right? But now, when Chief Keef came out, he basically boosted the crime rate. Okay, now you would say, how did he do this? All right, like I said in the very beginning of this, I truly believe that these individuals are picked at a specific time, all right, to do certain things. All of these people are handpicked. When we talk about industry plants, you know, it goes down the line, okay, and these people are picked, all right? But this basically caused a genocide in Chicago around 2012. All right, the crime and death rate, all right, in Chicago was so bad, President Obama, okay, had to step in. All right, it was bad. Okay, if you guys remember 2012 in Chicago, you know, there was a murder like every weekend or every 2 days or something like that, and it was bad. You know, it got to the point where it was like, you know, you seen how many people were dying. You know, 200 people in a weekend. It was just unbelievable, man. You know, so this was basically the birth of drill rap, all right, in this era, all right? And, you know, the drill scene kind of went on and, you know, they changed the whole narration of how beats were made a little bit, but the drill scene always remained there, all right, and reached over to New York, actually. All right. Now, in 2007, up until now, right, we have something called emo rap, okay, as well as drill rap, all right, that is basically taking over the world, all right. Now, the reason why these two subgenres are taking over, all right, is because they're both worldwide. Okay, you have UK drill, you have Asian drill, you have Indian drill, you got all these different drill raps, right? And this all stems from, okay, Chicago and New York, and then people just venture off and just, you know, copy and do the same thing, right? But also the emo rap, you have rappers like Juice WRLD and NBA Youngboy and all of these, you know, new guys that's out right now, right? But if we pay attention, New York drill rap is basically a carbon copy, all right, of Chicago drill, right? And it basically was created, all right, and created a lane to boost the crime rate, all right, within the younger generation, all right? All of this stuff is programmed as a genocide, okay? All of this stuff is programmed as a genocide. Now, emo rap, on the other hand, okay, now some of y'all may not know this, but like I always talk about with frequencies, right? Negative vibrations, right? This can cause nervous disorders. Okay, now, since 2012, right, the depression rate in young adults, right, has went from 5.9%, okay, to 8.2%, okay? Now, and this is just the people that have been diagnosed, right? Now, we've had artists like NBA Youngboy come out and say he was sorry for the music he created.
Man, I feel very wrong about a lot of things. How many lives I actually am responsible for when it comes to my music.
All right, now, I'm not going to say this, all right? Not only music is to blame, okay? It could be foods and other things as well that causes depression, right? But it does play a factor, all right, as far as with influence. Okay, see, I'm going to say this really quick and I'm going to end this video, all right? There are people out there that are playing a game, okay? And each side is red and blue, okay? The white is for the people that choose to stand down, all right? This has been going on since the beginning of time, all right? But they're both playing the same game, okay? It's all about control, okay? Who can win, all right? And we're just the little puppets on the game that they're toying with, all right? So when we take a look at music and we see why is people dying behind this music, you know what I mean? It has an influence, and it's used specifically for that reason, okay? To influence, whether it be negative or positive, it's used to influence, all right? So when we take a look at the music business and we see that it's an influence, all right, on the urban communities as well as suburban areas as well, right? The suburban areas, right? But it plays a major factor, all right, and it has very low vibrations, all right, and can cause low vibrational reactions, all right. So now, with that being said, guys, I hope I spoke on this video and broke it down for you guys, the different generations of hip hop, all right, and how we got to where we are today, all right. Am I upset about the results of how hip-hop turned out? Absolutely. But it's something that we have to say, all right, we either like it or we don't, right? And nothing lasts forever, okay? All right, so with that being said, guys, I hope you guys enjoy your weekend. Gonna get some more videos done for y'all, all right? And peace and blessings, y'all. One.